in the trailer, aren't they playing like Let's Dance or something like that?
Yeah.
They don't actually use Let's Dance in the film, did they?
Not that I remember. No.
Sort of like also, I think they use an Elvis track in the trailer that also doesn't appear in the film.
Well, I don't know that. I just know the Let's Dance one because that's when it's Dua Lipa and Henry Cavill, right?
Yeah, and
Like
Dua
the
Lipa
intro.
did do, I think she did the opening music and some other scoring throughout the film. I actually had to look up who the fuck Dua Lipa was. Like, I was like, I don't know who this person is.
How do you
But
not know one of the most famous pop stars?
because I'm a 40 some odd year old white dude that doesn't listen to a lot of pop.
Yeah,
music,
so
that's
you're
why.
100% her clientele. Like, don't you wish you had me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like
Is that
me?
who sings that song?
No, that's a fucking Pussycat Dolls.
Well,
Fuck
that's what
you.
I'm talking about. Like I don't know this stuff. Anyway,
Don't you?
The name's host, co-host. Because we're talking movies, we're talking Argylle, starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, and Bryan Cranston. Written by Jason, I'm gonna guess it's Fuchs, and directed by Matthew Vaughn. Chris, I don't have a quote, I just have a question. When are we gonna do the whirly word on the dance floor?
Well, I do have a quote, and it's, "Cat ladies always die alone, and cats figure it out."
hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? We're going to be talking about a very, very expensive, flaming piece of dog shit, otherwise known as Argylle from Apple Studios and Universal. Scott, why don't you get out your shovel and take us away?
The funny part is doing this with you for so long. I already knew where you're gonna go with this review.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So
Is it because you watched it and you go, Chris has such an elevated taste for cinema
no,
that he is going to see
no,
through
no.
these jumbo plot holes?
No. But here's the thing. So are there issues with this movie? I'd be lying if I didn't say yes.
You would also be stupid. You would also be
But-
stupid.
But does it accomplish what it was set out to do? And I'm going to say yeah, because it was made and it was 100% presented as a popcorn movie. And that's what this is. If I had to take...
yeah, like popcorn on the bottom of my fucking shoe at the movie theater.
Fucking thing sucks.
Oh my God. Okay, this is going to be a fucking fiery fucking spicy show.
Okay, so if I had to take a guess, when I'm going to, again, assumed his name's Fox, wrote it, he reverse engineered the script. So he had all the action beats planned, and then he just put tiny little bits of story to kind of meld the action together. And that's why I'm guessing you're talking about, like there isn't much of a story. But if you're talking about Apple Studios and losing money, like this is par for the course. Their last three films have done the exact same thing this did, and you've been well, for one out of the three you were like sucking off like it was a Saturday night, because Killers of the Flower Moon cost the same amount, Napoleon cost the same amount. This movie, they're all $200 million production budgets, and they all have not made a profit.
First off, Killers of the Flower Moon made $157 million. So much closer than the $77 million that this made.
Wait,
So-
but that's whole box office, right? This has only been for 3 weeks.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. It's not good. I don't see this going fucking much further. It's got a 77. They've made 77 million. It cost 200 million. Again, this number seems to either be the purchase price and production. I can't seem to unlock the number. But 200 million spent on this film before marketing seems to be agreed upon. Plus, both Universal and Apple dropped another 80 million. So we're at $280 million on this. You know what it's not doing? Killers of the Flower Moon, going to BAFTAs, going to Oscars, winning awards, fucking an important piece of cinema by a very prestigious director. So if you lose some money on that, you can go, yeah, but you know, I've contributed to great film through the world. And again, those accolades are going to be important. Look at the A-list actors that are in that film. This also has a bunch of great actors. Just this is a fucking awful movie. Okay. I wouldn't even recommend watching this when it comes out on fucking streaming.
Oh, that's cold.
This film had no business being 2 hours and 20 minutes long. When I sat down in the theater and then I like actually checked what the running time was supposed to be, I was like, are you fucking serious? 90 minutes, fucking top. I was begging the movie to fucking end. And that included a small nap that I had at some point during the film, and still did not lose my place in the just like train wreck of a fucking script.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think most problem with this movie is the script.
Yeah, that's
right?
usually the
And
problem with most films is they start with bad scripts.
like I was saying, like it's a popcorn movie, so I enjoyed it for that, right? Like I didn't go in thinking that it was the gonna blow my fucking mind and rewrite stuff. Like I like Matthew Vaughn. I like his films, right? And his films recently have all been what this
Shit.
is. No, I would just say like extremely I would say extremely, they are entertaining action sequences to a pretty sick like soundtrack.
I don't know.
Each
I would
one of
argue
them
that
has-
his last great action movie, in my opinion, was Kick-Ass. I've not enjoyed the Kingsman series. I thought they just got significantly worse as they went on.
but what about the first one?
Layer Cake?
No. I mean the first Kingsman.
Oh, I can't remember. I just know that the last one I watched, which is I think The Kingsman, was stupid and fucking silly. Like, anyway, so you like Matthew Vaughn? Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to like popcorn movies. That's cool. That's cool.
Right. But that's the thing. I think it was this was 100% just reversed engineered, right?
Did you not hold on? Did you not just find it was just like stupid at points? Like not even like jokingly, humorous. Like that fucking firefight dance scene, it made me want to vomit in my fucking hat. I was like,
oh, when they're doing
oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like who looks at the script and then directs that piece of action, that set piece, and goes, my fucking work is done here. Like, I would be fucking embarrassed to
I would say
out, man.
You're talking about the
there's only one big gunfight, with the smoke and
the rainbows and all that shit. But I think that, like, at the beginning I was okay with it, but the editing is what lost me on it, because because you're seeing it through Predator heat vision and you're seeing it in real life, like through their POV. And when you're watching their POV, you're watching them do like the whirly bird, where that was their origin. That's where the fucking whirly bird came from. But then when it edits back to the next scene, which edits back to Predator vision, they're just standing beside each other twirling around.
I love how that was the part that got you, not just like the entire action sequence that was childish and, like I said, silly and stupid.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. That's his whole
like the fucking editing choice.
That's Vaughn's whole motif now, is like an over choreographed action sequence to a soundtrack. And that's what that was.
But it wasn't good. And it was foolish. Again, it's one thing to have like super dope, ready, steady, go, boo, 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 Collateral style fucking action sequence with a dope track. Like, I am not complaining about this. I was watching this and I felt embarrassed for everybody fucking participating in that scene, watching it. Like that was what it felt to me.
Look, for me, it was the first action scene. That's the one that I'm like, come on. When he when it's
and in the trailer, hold on, just to cut you off for a second. In the trailer, aren't they playing like Let's Dance or something like that?
Yeah.
They don't actually use Let's Dance in the film, did they?
Not that I remember. No.
Sort of like also, I think they use an Elvis track in the trailer that also doesn't appear in the film.
Well, I don't know that. I just know the Let's Dance one because that's when it's Dua Lipa and Henry Cavill, right?
Yeah, and
Like
Dua
the
Lipa
intro.
did do. I think she did the opening music and some other scoring throughout the film. I actually had to look up who the fuck Dua Lipa was. Like, I was like, I don't know who this person is.
How do you
But
not know one of the most famous pop stars?
because I'm a 40 some odd year old white dude that doesn't listen to a lot of pop.
Yeah, so
that's
you're
why.
100% her clientele. Like, don't you wish you had me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like
Is
me?
that who sings that song?
No, that's a fucking Pussycat Dolls.
Well,
Fuck
that's what
you.
I'm talking about. Like I don't know this stuff. Anyway, the only good thing about this film is fucking Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I would say he stole it for sure. Yeah, like if you're going in, like they give away, well, like the trailer is the whole here's the real fucking Agent Argylle. If you couldn't figure out in the first 25 minutes who the real Agent Argylle was, right? Like it was very bad foreshadowing. And that's what I'm thinking, like, is the problem. It's all in, to me, it's all in the script was the problem.
Yes, but let's talk about these problems. So plot twists are only good if you actually think a story is going one way, it gets moved, and then you either realize you already had a certain amount of information or you get a bunch of other information that shows, oh my God, like that's crazy. Like, I can't believe that character was actually the bad person or whatever. This is just like cliche plot twist, cliche plot twist, cliche plot. They just jam them in there to the point that anytime like you think a plot twist is coming, you're like, is it going to be this person's also a double agent? Like, it just got repetitive. Also, and I do understand, like at the very end, like you are, it is explained to you why she keeps seeing the Henry Cavill character. But even those devices that were like, they're clever for short periods of time, they go on way too long. Like there's just some of this, like I said, the set pieces or the devices used for like narrative, they might work for like a second or two, but he'll fucking play this shit out for like 2.5 minutes. And
Yeah, like
this
you
is
can't.
fucking silly, man.
That's what I kind of agree with you with, because if you look at just that example you used, right, like the seeing Henry Cavill kind of thing, they don't even follow the same beats, right? Like, how is it she sees Sam Rockwell as Cavill, and then
She sees
after an
herself
hour,
as Cavill,
and
as
then
well.
after an hour it goes to fucking herself, right? Like, okay, you got to kind of maintain that thing, right? Like, it would have been better. And do you want to do spoilers? Not want to do spoilers?
Listen, I'm not even suggesting people watch this fucking movie. And the spoilers you can basically start seeing a mile away.
Yeah, so
so listen, if you're worried about spoilers, stop listening to this. Go watch this shitty movie, then come back and listen to the rest of the show and find out why you were not supposed to watch this fucking movie. And 3, 2, now it's your fucking problem. Okay, Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, like if they did, when they were doing the whole, you got to do a head smash and it's just like the twist.
Yep.
If she had the little blackout there and then him coming back and be like, hey, and then you realize after the fact she's the one that did everything, that would have been way better than her just standing there the whole fucking time and then him getting like berating her, being like, you can't even do one twist, right? Because to me, that like where you are in that story where she's technically, just a novelist, a writer who used to be a waitress, to make somebody like a civilian to be like, I want you to start stomping on people's fucking skulls and smashing them, is a little overboard, I think, in terms of
like what an expectation of that character should be.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Agree? Disagree?
No, again, like there's a lot. So listen, so one of my quotes, I have another one I'm going to use at the end of the show. James Bernadelli, which we've talked about before, he's from Real Views. He refers to the film as overlong, tedious, bursting with idiot plot contrivance. There are obvious story holes so big that a 747 flown by a chimpanzee could make it through. I'm like, I fucking agree. There's actually the plot holes are so big, it's actually hard to remember because the story itself is so broken up that I'm trying to remember like what were the big ones that really stood out for me. But it's
The
sort of
plot
like
twi-
stuff
in
like,
ter-
huh?
like in terms of the plot twists, or
Just the
or the
like this,
plot
yeah,
holes?
the story itself, like kind of what you're talking about though, where it's like, well, that character knows something about this character, but then is expecting like different stuff from this character than what he would obviously expect. I mean, even just like the fact that I know they're saying like the memory came back, but they're trying to kind of do the born identity thing where it's like, I don't remember, but like I've got these lightning fast reflexes. It's like, okay, so you didn't have any of that shit when people were shooting at you and stuff, but now all of a sudden,
Or in the subway, right? Or
yeah.
the train, or whatever it was, right? Where
And
they're
also,
all
like,
kind of-
listen, I get it. Like, even if you did have all this like elite combat training in Born Identity, it's a very like he's in the ocean, and he was just sent on a mission, so he's fit, he's trained, all that. In this, it's been 5 fucking years of this chick like drinking lattes and fucking hanging out, but she can supposedly like physically take on the like Rockwell's character who's like still operational. And I don't mean when he decides to stop like fighting her, but he still should be able to like whoop her fucking ass because she's just like a chick that's been out of the game for 5 years. It's anyway, fucking nonsense.
well,
The movie's
you
too
shouldn't
long.
say a
The
chick that's
dialogue
been
is
just
shit.
an
Huh?
agent. Yeah, but yeah, like I think the in terms of your holes, like the double plot twist of who's the parents, who's not the parents, like that was fucking redundant. Like you
Yeah.
didn't really need that at all, right? Because to me, it would have been way more interesting if they actually were her parents.
And they were
'Cause-
what? Spies trying to kill her? Like what? What the fuck?
Well, yeah. Just to me, like why build that relationship, right, in Act 1 if you're gonna blow it apart in Act 2,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, because to me, like I like the whole, like if Catherine O'Hara went on like half that mission and come Act 2, because why would she be surprised when Cranston drops his facade, right? Because then they both look at each other, she's surprised, and then all of a sudden she goes into the English accent with the gun, which
Mm-hmm.
what was the point of that look?
Well, and what's the point of constantly like flipping everything around? Like, write out your story, have a couple plot twists, and then just do that really well. Again, this thing seemed to be like, haha, you're never gonna know like what that you're on sinky sand, and it's just like I said, I was angry that like one thing I'd say to people out there listening, you may think it's super awesome to like watch movies and do a fucking podcast, but sometimes you got to go watch a movie like this, and it's just fucking grating on your nerves, and it feels like time you're never gonna get back.
I can be your hero, baby.
And I'm an old man. Like I need that fucking time. And it got wasted.
Listen.
It got wasted on an awful film.
I would say if you had to visualize what it was like watching this movie, I would say this movie does an amazing job encompassing it. Because just imagine you're fucking Samuel L. Jackson staring at the screen, watching the download stuff go, and then it just paused, and you're like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
right? Because
that's how I felt when I'm like, "Can this movie just end?" And then it's like, "Nope, a little bit more, just a couple more fingers. We're almost there on your proctology exam. Sorry, I forgot the fucking lubricant."
But yeah, because that's what it is. It's like it would get going. You're like, okay, maybe I'll go with this, and then it was just like stopped, and you're like, it just drops, and you're like, fuck. And
I don't know,
it
man.
Picks up again.
I think anytime you like, so look at this cast. You got Bryce Dallas Howard, which this is gonna sound stupid. Guess who her dad is? Ron fucking Howard. It just was like, okay, Nepo baby, fantastic. All her first acting credits in daddy's fucking movies. Anyway, she does actually a decent job. I mean, she was in The Help. She's in all the Jurassic World movies, yada, yada, yada. She's fine. Sam Rockwell is fucking fantastic. You got Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, who's, Canadian, SCTV, Beetlejuice, Home Alone, obviously, Schitt's Creek, Henry Cavill, Dua Lipa, Ariana DeBose, John Cena, Samuel. I almost feel like as soon as you start seeing these like big casts, It's like a danger, Will Robinson, danger. Like you're probably walking into a garbage film because like you often see these stacked crews, not always, but it is often, you know, I bet you got like 50-50 odds that you are going to be seeing a shit piece of fucking cinema.
But listen, you're not talking about who the real star of this movie is.
Don't say that fucking stupid cat. Not the cat.
I'm just gonna say it's definitely the Apple product placement because they were done very well.
Oh, I didn't even notice. So maybe they weren't done that well.
How did you not? Every computer everywhere. So the secret organization only uses Apple Macs.
No, I mean, I think every evil organization just uses Apple because it's a fucking evil corporation. Although, hey, Apple, if you're listening, which you probably are because we're on Apple Podcast, and while you're on Apple Podcast, make sure to give us a 5-star rating and a comment so that we can get on Rotten Tomatoes. Just a little heads up there.
Okay.
Do it. Do it.
All right.
If you're throwing around $200 million for fucking shitty scripts, I got some fucking not bad half-written scripts upstairs. I'll make you a fucking sweetheart deal. 75 million. You can have the lot of them. Okay. You come on down. We'll fucking deal. Get you fucking sorted out.
Shut up and take my money.
Anyway, just wanted to make sure they were aware of that. Yeah, man, I don't have really much more to fucking say about this. Do not, just seriously, do not go. Do not.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Do not go to the movie theater to watch this movie. If you are going to subject yourself to it, wait till it comes out. I think it comes out on Apple Plus in what, April or something?
That much I don't know. But so you're not excited for the prequel or the sequel?
Okay, so I thought after watching this, I walk out of there, I'm like, yeah, those aren't fucking happening. But the director in February, like this month, so I don't know if it's been since it's really come out, they're already like, yep, we're getting ready for the prequel. They're starting their casting, all that. If I don't know, Scott, even with Apple money, would you still be going forward with this?
Yeah, because it's Apple money.
Well, and that 200
you got to remember,
and
Apple,
hold on, and that 200 million might have bought the rights to everything, so they might be able to just bang out the other two for like 40 million a piece or some shit, and they're bingo bango. They've got content, right? So that we don't know the structure of that.
Yeah, because if you think like the end credit.
Oh man, the whole tying into the Kingsman. I fucking hate this. Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
Universe, like
the Kingsman is an intellectual property, and I know that's a Millerverse, and I know Netflix paid a sweet fucking penny for the Millerverse rights, so I don't know if Kingsman was a part of it or not. I'm gonna assume not if it's tied in with this. But yeah, if Apple's like, hey, we'll make this movie, but you know, we now own the rights to Kingsman, I could see that for sure. Because you like, out of all the streaming services, like Apple is the one with the limited amount, right? Compared to Netflix, compared to Prime.
Yeah, that's because Apple's a $3 trillion company. They could give a fuck.
Right, but I mean? It's still something they like. Obviously, you know, their last 3 movies, they invested 600 million. Right, and I think they're still like, I think in total it was like 1.3 or 1.4 because there's still like Channing Tatum movie that's supposed to be coming out. There's a George Clooney, Brad Pitt movie that's still coming out that was a part of this production, like in terms of spending. And there's still the Brad Pitt fucking Formula One movie too, because they have 2 Brad Pitt movies still that was all that they threw all this money
in the
into.
time it takes people to listen to this podcast, they will make that money back.
Like, oh yeah, just in fucking phones, right?
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe these prequels will happen because they already own the rights. I'm definitely not at all interested in seeing them. Like I said, this thing's got a 33% from the critics on the Rotten Tomatoes, 72 from the audience. What fucking audience? I was like, all this proves is that people are stupid. Who the fuck watched this movie and was still willing to give it a good enough rating to go onto Rotten Tomatoes and be like, I fucking like this movie?
But
idiots. World is full of fucking idiots.
Wait, what were the critics?
33.
Critics were 33 and audience was, yeah. So I told you 100%. It's a popcorn movie. It did what it was supposed to do. And like, this isn't a movie. Okay. This isn't a movie to look at with a critical eye.
Okay, listen, I don't want to turn this into like drag this out too much more, but so an example of a film that I think is doing parody really well, Hot Fuzz. Fantastic movie, loved by everybody, critics, loved by audience. To your point, had a better script, but like there's a way to do, that was the other point I wanted to bring up. This at points felt like it was trying to do parody, but it was taking itself too serious. And so like it wasn't funny enough nor serious enough. And like what they could have done is have the parody in the like the novelization or the meta component. Yeah, the thing just falls apart. If you want kind of like I said, a meta version, just go watch. I know it's about cops, not, you know, CIA agents or whatever, but just go watch Hot Fuzz. Much more enjoyable movie. You will feel better about yourself. You won't feel like you had your money stolen from your pocket. So
now, can I ask you one question, and then we can get off on that?
Well, I'm going to finish on my very last quote.
Okay,
so you can ask away.
So would you do Cavill as Bond?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that to me, my favorite James Bond, it depends on what kind of James Bond you're looking for. My favorite James Bond is the Casino Royale, grimy Daniel Craig. And yeah, I think,
but that's not the question. They have to cast a new James Bond, and Cavill's name's always a part of it.
And
right?
I understand where you're going with this, and I'm answering your question. I'm saying it depends on what kind of James Bond stories you're looking to tell. If you're looking to get back to that like nitty gritty, and I think even it got crazy with Daniel Craig, I would not go with Cavill. If you're going to be more like the, you know, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, whatever, like that kind of shiny, suave, sure, throw that motherfucker in there. Or do you agree? Do you disagree, or what?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It seems like he's already done 2, right? What was the Guy Ritchie one he did?
The Gray Man, that one?
No, the one before that. That was a TV show.
Yeah, it was modeled after the TV show, and that was awful too. And that was,
but that's the thing.
Hammer,
and now
right?
this one, it seems like he's done 2, and it's kind of like presentation pieces.
Oh, the Man from Uncle. It was the Man from Uncle.
Yeah, that to be like, you know, 2 little like presentation pieces to be like, you know, maybe I can do the spy shit, right?
Well, I mean, maybe be in a good spy movie. Go do like Tinker Tailor Solar Spy Part 2 with all those guys. Pull that shit off, and then go be James Bond. Anyway, you got anything else?
No, you can end it on your quote.
All right, Sarah Michelle Fetters, which I mean, I don't know, it can't be a real name. She's from moviefreaks.com, and she had this to say: Argylle is exhausting.
And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com.
Fast and the Furious #1. This movie, which one's better?
Number 1.
How is this even a fucking question, dude?
I don't know, man. Vin Diesel was pretty stoic in his thing, right? And that one, because I always consider #1 is just a remake without calling it a remake of fucking Point Break.
I guess. It's a bad remake. Yeah,
story.
Sure. No, you're not wrong. Story. You're not wrong, except, yeah, it's cars instead of surfers, right? Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.